Hey everybody, welcome to Bedrock Radio. So there is this grand discussion going on about Kanye West's Rant, and I have watched, I think, every show that has covered this, every talk show, every interview that has covered this, and I'm not outraged. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, this does not shock me. And anyone that's shocked by Kanye's outbursts and his ranting and his venting, where have you been? Where have you been for the last, 10 years? Kanye has been off the mark. And he has. Musically, he is definitely a genius. But that cannot always be our reasoning for why we accept the nonsense. You know what? At the end of the day, freedom of speech still exists. And yes, Kanye, you can say whatever you want. You can rant on about, how you love Trump. And I don't have a problem with you loving Trump. You want to love Trump? Listen, go right ahead. Love him. But a lot of us have reasons for feeling the way that we feel about President Trump, because it was an upset before he got into the White House. Just the mere thought of him going in there upset a lot of people. Him being in there has upset a lot of people. And I cannot state in fact that he's done anything, for any of us, as I can state that he's probably caused us more grief than he's given us anything. And no, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I'm not against him. I just don't agree with most of the stuff that he has done, as most of us that are, dogs, shouldn't agree with him. He has made comments about women. He's made comments about many different human beings. And so, love your enemy. I get your message. Love your enemy. Love heals, and I get that. I get all of that. But your comments are rhetoric at best. And I'm not 100% sure if you're doing this just like anybody else. We don't know if you're doing this, just to gain attention, just to continue to be relevant. I don't see why you would need to, because just simply your name alone is enough. But you know what else is enough, Kanye? Our Black men being sought after, hunted down, shot, killed. Our Black children that are afraid. See, because I don't know about you, and I don't know what Kim has to do, to prepare her children for school, but I've had to teach my son since he was 8 years old not to raise his hands above his hips should he get into any sort of problems with an officer. I have to teach my son not to raise his voice in any way that could be considered aggressive. I have to teach my son, I have to teach my Black son that having an opinion is not as important as getting home safely. And that is the reality of most Black mothers in this land today. Now you might look at me and say, well, she's you fairly, light skinned, and my son is a brown skinned young man. And people of our color, people of our complexion, people who look just like you can't walk the streets at night, can't ride in cars with their fiancés and their children safely. And you haven't had to have that type of a incident happen in your life, I'm sure. Because if it was really close to you, if you really understood what these families have had to endure, if you've really understood what our communities have had to endure, I don't think you would be as irresponsible as you are to say the things that you say. 400 years of slavery was not a choice. Coming into this land was not our choice. We didn't run and jump on the boats because people were offering discounts, free trips. We were shackled and chained and beaten and killed and treated like worse than cattle. We were treated like the fish that they pull out of the sea. And we got here dead or alive. You call that a choice? I don't get it, bro. I don't get that. And you say 400 years of that, you stayed in that position for 400 years. That's a choice. Was the Holocaust a choice for the Jews? Did they choose to be incinerated? My man, come on. My son looks up to you because of the lyrics that you put in songs, because of the beats. And I'm in music. I'm in the industry. I'm right here, right now. Bedrock Records. And yeah, we still think that you are profoundly great at what you do musically. But seek medical attention. Get back on your meds. Stop conforming to a world that you don't need to be a part of. You liposuction. What do you need liposuction for? Get a trainer. You can afford a trainer. You can afford to do what you want, but you're going to put yourself in a position to have your family disgraced, to have your children looked on, to have those people that really follow you and are your fans feel like, come on, you can do better than this. If you're still ailing, if you're still aching, if you're still in pain over the loss of your parent, the loss of your mom, I understand. I'm a mom. And every day, all I pray is that my son has a blessed future, that my daughters have blessed futures. But any one of us could be Sandra Bland. Any one of us. Stop being irresponsible. We, as Black people, regardless of whether you're rich or poor, have an obligation to one another. God told us to love each other as we love ourselves. And if you truly do love your brother, if you truly do love, you want to talk about love, then be more responsible with what you say. Think about those young Black boys that are watching you Think about the lives of those young Black children that Trump is not thinking about and has not thought about and has not done anything about. So whatever this is about, it's not worth tearing down your culture. It's not worth demeaning the fight that took 400 years by your people, by your ancestors. It's not worth diminishing the greatness of every march, of every battle fought. It's not worth that. It's not worth the loss of life that we have to continuously see and hear about. From one edge of this land to the other. So Kanye, please, I implore you, seek help. I'm praying for you, bro. Because we all, as a people, have to do better than this. This is your girl, Ange, from Bedrock Radio. Peace.